Well, men of all ages can be embarrassed by performance issues in the bedroom. These problems can affect men at any age, even in their 20s.
Yeah, joining us today is Dr. Ian Levenson of the Colorado Center for Health and Longevity. Dr. Levenson will explain how a non-drug, non-surgical therapy called GAINSWave is helping men of all ages to have more confidence and enjoy better intimacy with their partners. GAINSWave uses a specific protocol for sound wave therapy, also referred to as shock wave therapy. We want to introduce Dr. Levenson. Thank you so much for being here this morning on Colorado's Best. So, you know, just how much of an issue is ED, otherwise known as erectile dysfunction, and just these, male performance problems?
It's a significant issue. In fact, you know, it can start as early as 20 years of age, and generally it's a percentage of your age. So if you're 50, it's 50% of the men have some form of erectile dysfunction, 60%.
Okay.
And as their age goes up, the severity of the issue goes up also. So it can hit anywhere. People are somewhat in their younger years less apt to talk about it, but we have therapies to help them. So I think it's good to have public awareness on that.
Let's talk about GAINSWave and what this is doing for people.
Okay. So GAINSWave is kind of a revolutionary process, that a protocol using a device called a sound wave generator, and this is really the source of it. This is a device that actually causes the sound wave. It's similar to what they use in lithotripsy to break up kidney stones, but it's a much broader spectrum, less intensity, and what it actually does is it creates a process in the when you do that to create increased blood vessels and increased healing in the area so that it reverses the process.
So can you explain to us, as we see this animation, how is it exactly working? What's happening?
So what's happening is as your body ages, it ages very slowly, so the body doesn't recognize things as deteriorating. So it doesn't really come in and heal like the self-healing process you have if you skin your knee and the skin grows back. What GAINSWave does is it takes that area and makes the body recognize it as that is degraded, and so it increases the arterial flow, which we call angiogenesis, increases blood vessels into that area, and brings your own healing factors, your stem cells and your platelets, to regenerate that area. So that's quite a bit different. When you use Viagra Cialis, those types of products are really kind of a band-aid. They work very well, and we use them with this process. But that doesn't affect the progression of the process. This is along with what we call a P-shot or a Priapus shot, which is taking your own blood, spinning that down, and taking your platelets and growth factors. Those two processes regenerate the process or reverse the process rather than letting it go on, okay? So what this does is it creates a reverse of that process by increasing blood vessels and increasing growth factors and platelets to that area to regenerate that, okay? The other thing that GAINSWave has found is that when you use that, if you have significant issues, if you use that with what we call platelet-rich plasma, or the blood that you spin down into that same area, that enhances. So these two are complementary processes that enhance that regeneration rather than just a Band-Aid that covers it up.
Yeah, you were explaining to us what makes this different from other enhancing treatments. Is there anything else to add there if people are kind of shopping around and looking for something that's not a drug?
Well, there are other things that have been done over time. None of them have the scientific data or the ability to have past experiments that have shown that this is a process that works well. There's over 40 published articles on shockwave therapy or sound wave, GAINSWave therapy, that have shown that this is very specifically effective in that area. Now, when you go to somebody who is not GAINSWave trained, they'll use a different protocol. The thing that's specific about GAINSWave is that they've developed a protocol over time that they know works well and treats certain areas that other people don't treat, and so the effectiveness of this particular therapy is very well developed over somebody who just takes the same device and uses that. Now this device, the sound wave generator, is an FDA approved device. It's FDA approved for musculoskeletal and cellulite, and it's applied to this particular process to make that work. So that's kind of the difference is that there's just much more data associated with this particular type of protocol.
Okay, and just really quickly as we wrap up, how long can people, men expect the results to last from this treatment, and what's the cost?
Okay. Generally, it lasts for about 2 years.
Okay.
Most people will find that they don't want to go back to where they were, so they'll use a protocol where you use a couple treatments a year or 3 treatments a year to maintain it. The cost factors are quite a bit different. It depends on the specific needs that you have, whether you need 6 treatments, whether you need 12 treatments, whether you need a Priapus shot. So generally, the therapy ranges for total therapy in the $2,000 to $3,000 range for each particular person, but I would encourage people to assess their practitioner to find out what each particular treatment would be for them, and then they can go over what the costs are at that time.
Okay, thank you so much. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Okay, thank you.
And you can book an appointment with Dr. Ian Levenson or learn more about the GAINSWave therapy by calling this number, 303-221-5400. You can also visit the website. It is coloradolongevity.com.